Okay, this is Jason WW here. Going to make a video on this Powervar Power Conditioner. I'll probably tell you more than you need to know. It's described as a power conditioner. It's basically an isolation transformer, and this is the smallest one they make. This is a fairly old model, rated at 0.65 amp at 120 volts, 2 electrical outlets. There's pretty much no videos or pictures of these units online, probably because they're riveted shut. So I went ahead and drilled out those rivets. Here's what we have inside. Turn that around. Basically a transformer. We've got a capacitor, a MOV, electrical outlet. Okay, a couple of things to note right away. The transformer itself, you can see there are 2 coils. You can see both of the coils is what I'm trying to say. The inner core here happens to be the primary. That's what's coming in from the wall. This outer core here is the secondary, and that's what's going to these 2 wires right here, the red and white. And you can see there's some type of, I don't know, fiber. It's a non-conductive material. These like little tubes, and I think they're just designed to keep pressure, to maintain a certain amount of pressure. Probably allows for expansion as they heat up and cool down, you know, take up the slack. Probably keeps them quieter, keeps the coil windings from humming. Now let's see, I'll take you through the basic inputs and outputs. The cords, 3-prong. You've got your hot, neutral, and ground. Those are coming in right here. Hot, neutral, ground. The green is the ground. And notice the green is completely isolated from the transformer. The green comes in and goes to this lug welded to the chassis. And then from there you have another green wire which goes up to the electrical outlet. And there's no ground connection to the transformer at all. The ground's not connected to any of the neutral wires. The 2 input wires from the wall run straight into the transformer, and then you have the 2 wires coming out. There's no on-off switches, there's no fuses, there's no circuit breakers, there's no thermal switches. Pretty much the only other components in this power conditioner or isolation transformer is this capacitor. This is a 1.5 microfarad capacitor. It's rated at 250 volts. This MOV, or metal oxide varistor, that's just for surge protection. It's also rated at 250 volts. I don't know if that's going to be important to anybody, but you can see a little bit of the capacitor here. Made in Japan, 250 volt. And over here, 1.5 microfarad. If it go, there we go. Get decent focus. All right, you could see that. Basically, this is a rather standard capacitor. These 2 connections over here are combined internally, and these other 2 here are combined internally. So the capacitor is basically just going across the hot and neutral on the secondary winding coming off the transformer, and then goes directly into the electrical outlet. So all very basic. Here is a diagram I drew up. This basically shows your input side, primary. The ground does not come into contact with the transformer at all. It just goes right on through and out. It's an iron core. Got your capacitor and MOV on the output, or secondary coil. Some of the specs. An interesting thing about the windings, this is not a one-to-one transformer. This has actually got a few more winds on the output side. I've calculated it's a 1 to 1.065. It's about 6.5% higher output as far as voltage. So if you put 120 volts in, you get 128 volts out, which is kind of contrary to what the manufacturer specifies as 120 volts in, 120 volts out. And I can show you that real quick. Now, using an extension cord, my house does not have ground terminals. It's only a two-prong because it's an old house. Right now I've got 123 volts even, which is nice and convenient. Let's take that off. You can see the modified plug there. You know, the old house wiring is a completely different story that I would need to go into, but it's a very noisy, it's a noisy electrical system in this house. And I'm gonna plug this kilowatt. There we go. It had 123 volts in and 131 out. So you gain about 8 volts. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, about 8 volts is what I've calculated. So it's not one-to-one, it's close. You get a little extra on the output. And okay, and that's pretty much it for this video. I'm going to be modifying this and mounting it inside an amplifier, and I'll show how to do that. It's going to get rid of a nasty hum that an amplifier has. I'm going to do I'm going to do a whole video on that. But anyway, that is enough information for this unit. That's all there is to it. I do recommend these units secondhand. They're really cheap. If you need an isolation transformer, just make sure you match it up to the power requirements that you have. This unit, even though it's 0.65, it should be able to do up to 2 amps for 10 seconds. So it can handle you know, higher amp draws for a shorter amount of time if it's necessary. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Thanks. One more shot for anybody that needs it. Thanks.